Good evening, it is Friday the 22nd of November. It's just turned 5 o'clock and I'm just about to head off out. I haven't been on since last Saturday, so basically I've had a week off from Uber. I've had a couple of my own private jobs throughout the week, and yeah, I just really haven't found the need or the want to come on and do Uber throughout the week, just with it being so quiet. Don't mind Friday and Saturdays. Fridays can be hit and miss sometimes, but yeah, I thought I'll head off out. I haven't got any private work tonight. I have got some tomorrow, so tomorrow I'm going to be doing 2 private jobs in amongst Uber, but obviously that'll be on tomorrow's video. So yeah, just about to head off out. Freezing cold. It's supposed to be down to about -2 tonight, so I don't know if that's a good thing because people will be jumping Ubers, or if people are just more likely or more inclined to stay at home because of the poor weather. So I don't know. We'll see what happens, and I'll keep you updated shortly. Quick little update. It's just turned 6 o'clock, so I've done one job, and that was £18.49 for 5.2 miles. However, I probably ran a good 4 or 5 miles of the job. It was basically the outskirts of Ormskirk to the outskirts of Southport, so I'm in Southport now. So yeah, a little bit slow, and I mean, I didn't get that job until 20 past 5. So yeah, it says on there it's taking 26 minutes, but that's obviously from when you pick the customer up, because like I said, I got it at 20 past or 21 minutes past, and I've just dropped them off, so it's actually been 41 minutes from when I was given the job to picking them up to dropping them off, whereas Uber's just giving you the time from when you've actually picked the customer up to drop them off, so a little bit misleading, but then that's Uber for you. But yeah, it was a little bit slow. Some of the jobs that were coming through were really ridiculous. So just as I set off, I was offered a job which was, I think it was 5 miles away going 2 miles, and they were offering me £5.50, so I just ignored it. I drove about 2 miles in the opposite direction, and then about 5 minutes later the same job popped up again, but obviously this time, instead of it being 5 miles to the job, it was 7 miles to the job and then 2 miles. So now it was a 9-mile job, but this time they bumped the price up to £12.60 or something. So again, I just ignored it. So basically Uber had tried to have me pants down the first time. They realised what they'd done, and nobody was going to take the job, and then they thought, oh quick, we best offer Paul more money, and then I've just ignored it. So now Uber just looks stupid because it's out in the middle of nowhere, you see. That's obviously why I was being offered the job twice. Now they basically have to go back to the customer and say, oh yeah, we don't have any drivers. But that just comes down to Uber just being greedy, because if they would have offered me that £12 something the first time round, I would have done it, but I wasn't going to do it for less than £1 a mile. And then when I was in Ormskirk, I got offered this other job, so it was 7 miles away going 2 miles, so another 9-mile job, and it's telling me that it was going to take me 20 minutes to get there, and it was a 10-minute job, so for half an hour, and they wanted to pay me £5.74. So yeah, I don't know if it's just Uber having a laugh, or if there's just not many drivers out right this second, so I'm being pinged all these ridiculous jobs that are miles away. So yeah, it's a bit of a rubbish hour to start off with. £18 something was it? £18.49. But yeah, I'll see what happens as we move on to the next hour. So update time, it is 9 o'clock. Last little update was at 6 o'clock. Where was we? Yeah, so I'm still in Southport. Been in Southport for the past couple of hours. Some of the rates were a little bit shocking, to be honest. So it's a £5.41 for 3.8 miles. The next priority, £5.89 for 1.5 miles. A £3.93 for 1.4 miles. £3.70 for 1.3 miles. A £4.24 for 3.8 miles. So basically, it's almost £1 a mile on a Friday night. £4.30 for a 0.7 of a mile, £5.37 for 1.8 miles, £9.41 for 2.3 miles, £5.55 for 2.2 miles, £3.69 for 1.1 miles, £5.53 for 3.1 miles. Then I had an XL. The guy messed up. It was quite funny. It was a load of like squaddies or ex-squaddies. Picked them up. I think initially it was like a £7 job for like 2 miles or something, so I thought it's not too bad. And then he was like, oh yeah, just turn left here or something. So I was turn left. I thought he obviously knows a quicker route back to his house. And he was like, yeah, we're going to Formby. I was like, no. I said you've put an address in here. So I told him, and he's put his house address in instead of the bar they were going to. So as you can imagine, all the squaddies were like ripping into him, saying, bloody hell, was this how bad you was in Iraq and everything. So he had to change the address. I had to show him how to do it. So that turned into a £10.74 job for 4.2 miles anyway. And then the last one was a £5.75 for 1.1 miles. And then I've just come offline about 10 minutes ago to head over because I need to get a bit of a charge. I've had the heating on quite a lot, obviously because it's freezing, 3 degrees, and EVs hate it when you use the heater. They're not too bad if you're using the aircon, but when you have the heater on, it just drains the battery. So yeah, I haven't done a massive amount of miles. I've done 70 miles and it's saying I've got 21 miles of range left. So yeah, it's like 90 miles of range if you're using the heating all the time, which is bad to be honest if you think about it. Not too bad if you're pottering about, but yeah, I mean I do have the 1 kilowatt battery that I have in the back, and I do have my heater running off that, but yeah, just can't cope with it to be honest. So it's just kind of flicking the heating on and off intermittently. Obviously if you just have it on all the time, you're going to get like 70 miles out of it, because I think it works out for, if you've got the heating on full blast, for every mile you do it uses another mile just for the heating. So yeah, with a 150 mile range on this bus, you're looking at 75 miles if you've got the heating on all the time, which again is rubbish, but this is like the first time I've like experienced it, because I've got an electric car myself, but that has a range of like 300 miles, and I never really notice it because I never do 300 miles, so it's not an issue. But obviously when I'm driving around in this, especially now because it's on a Friday night, I'll normally get to about 10 o'clock and have a little bit of a charge up. But yeah, now it's just after 9 and I need a charge up, so I need to charge up a little bit earlier, which is also a bit of a pain because obviously I'm at the Instavolt now, which is at McDonald's, and currently if I go on charge now, it's 85p a kilowatt, which is just daylight robbery, like I've mentioned before in the past. If you charge up, excuse me, if you charge up at home during the day, it's I think 24p a kilowatt, and if I charge up at night, it's about 7p a kilowatt. However, these Instavolt ones drop down to about 50p a kilowatt from 10 o'clock. So now I'm thinking I can either, well, I'm not going to wait, but I could wait like another 50 minutes for the price to come down, and then for a full charge I would end up saving about £17, as opposed to if I go on charge now, which I'm going to have to, so it's going to cost me like an extra £17-18 for the higher tariff. But yeah, I haven't got much of a choice, because I'm not going to waste 50 minutes of a Friday night. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I've done £92 and 3p in the 4 hours, so I'm on £23 an hour. So not the greatest. I've had a couple of jobs that I have left, which some people might have taken. So one was an XL Southport to Liverpool city centre. I think it was £51 or £52, and I thought I just can't be bothered, because I've done jobs like that in the past for a similar price, and then you drive all the way to Liverpool, which is like 30 odd miles from here, and then I don't like working Liverpool, So I basically head back, and that's a gamble for me, because basically if I don't get any jobs coming back, either if it's from Liverpool or Formby or Ainsdale or anything like that, heading back towards Southport, then I've ran there and back for £50, which takes at least 2 hours, so £25 an hour. You know, and then I've stuck like 60 plus miles on, and is that really worth it? Whereas, you know, like I said, that's going to give me about £25 an hour. Now I've been pottering around here doing all these little like kind of crummy little jobs, but I'm still, you know, I'm still on what, £23 an hour, and you know the jobs I'm doing are like 1, 2 miles, 3 miles. So yeah, they are smaller jobs, but there's just no need to run. I think a lot of people will see that 50 odd pound and think, oh, that's great, and it would be great, you know, if you work Liverpool, then yeah, you could jump that to Liverpool, you've made 50 quid in the hour, and then you just carry on with your evening shift. But for me, it's not worth it. Like I said, I've done it in the past, and there's times where I've had little crummy jobs coming back, and then there's been times where I've drove all the way back from Liverpool empty, and I thought that was pointless. Shortly after that, I was offered another job from Southport again to Liverpool city centre, but this time it was just an X, not an XL, and they were offering me £25. So again I thought, well, that's ridiculous, because even if I just drove there and worked Liverpool, that's £25 for the hour, but if I drive there and back, then that's £12.50 an hour. About 20 minutes after that, I was offered another X job, Southport, Liverpool city centre, this time for £20, and I'm thinking, does the app not learn? Surely the app should think, hang on, we've offered Paul this 50 odd pound job and he's declined it. We've then offered him a similar job to a similar destination for half the price and he's declined it. I know what we'll do. Let's lowball him again and offer him £20. It's like, I think it's just part and parcel of the app basically just dragging your rating down because you're not accepting these jobs. It should just turn around and say, okay, if you're not going to accept that job down there for £25, we won't offer you that job because we know that you don't want that type of job. But it doesn't, and that's about it. I had another job. Picked up this couple, taking them into Southport, and having a little bit of a chat. Or, you know, how long have you been doing this and whatnot? Having a little chat about that, you know, and they were saying, I think it was something like, oh, what else? Because I said, yeah, I do this kind of like part-time because I've got my own business kind of thing. So I was talking to them about that, and then I heard the intro to my YouTube clip playing on the guy's phone, and I thought, well, that's a bit, because I thought, well, like, he hasn't, like, I was trying to twig in my head how he's made that connection. So then he then turned around and said, oh, are you what's known as executive airport transfer? And I was like, yeah. So straight away I thought, oh, he obviously knows about like the, you know, the Ainsdale golf club incident. So he said, yeah. He said, obviously, you know, he was a nice guy, you know, him and his wife, no problem with them whatsoever. But he'd said, like, you know, trying to remain as diplomatic as I can about it. He said, one of my friends sent me the link for your video for when you were at the golf club, and he said, obviously, he said, oh, it's one of your most viewed videos. It's got like nearly 1,000 views, and I was like, yeah, that's right. And and he said, oh, I hope everything's all, you know, like resolved with it, you know, and you know, you shouldn't have had to have like gone through that and things like that. And I was like, yeah, you know, like I said, I haven't put the video out there to try and like, you know, badmouth the golf club. It's not their fault, you know, who they have going there to, or like whether it's their members or going there for a drink or a party or whatever. I basically just document what happens to me on a, you know, like a day-to-day shift. And he was just like, yeah, you know, I hope you've, you know, everything's all sorted out, you know, you shouldn't have gone through that and all the rest of it. And I was like, well, it's out of my hands now. I said, you know, I've submitted everything to Uber, so obviously, well, I'm hoping that they're going to do the necessary things and like block them and whatnot. You know, the footage has been passed to the police, and you know, that's about it. So it's kind of out of my hands. yeah, and basically I think his wife was trying to like say some stuff, and he was saying to her, you know, like, don't, you know, just like kind of stay out of it, which, you know, is fair enough. You know, I don't blame them. They're not the first people to have mentioned it. I've had other people who have come to me in and around Southport, because Southport isn't that big. You know, so if something happens, everyone kind of knows. A lot of people up here play golf, and a lot of people go to that golf club, so I'm not surprised it's had so many views. Obviously it's been shared amongst the golfing community, as it were, and I've had people like approach me and speak to me about it, and they know who the individuals are, who's involved and whatnot. So yeah, it's that was it. It was just interesting, really, that you know, they'd seen that, and then even as they were getting out, his wife turned to me and said, I think you dealt with the situation like really well. You know, like on the YouTube clip kind of thing, how you dealt with it. So yeah, that's about it. I have contacted Uber, because it says in their terms that, obviously, as you may or may not know, you're not allowed to record customers, unless it depends on your council, obviously, with the CCTV and whatnot. But basically, Uber's rule is you can't record customers and then put them on social media, which is kind of obvious. I mean, I don't know why you would do that. It's, you know, it's obviously a little bit creepy, but obviously that's one of their rules, and obviously if you break that rule, you know, they'd probably kick you off the platform. So what I've clarified with them is, I would like to upload the video, however I've edited it and sent them the link for them to basically say that that would be okay to a degree, or they wouldn't have an issue with it. So basically, once the three individuals have left the vehicle, they're no longer a rider, and I've closed the doors. So basically it's not giving away any information about the individuals, where they live or anything like that, but it's showing what actually happened, because it's no different from me putting this video up now. So Uber don't have an issue with it, because their rule is there's no passengers in the back, and I'm not broadcasting these passengers. You know, this is just me. If I wanted to pan my camera around now, I have to do it when I'm editing it, basically. You know, I'll probably do it now, basically, just to give you a little bit of a demo. I'm able to basically spin it round so you can see everything, because the camera constantly records 360 degrees. So basically I've edited the other video, which initially shows me basically proving that there's no passengers in the back. I then close the doors, and then the camera then spins round to the front to show you the instance on the outside. So basically I wouldn't be able to put the footage on YouTube which shows the individuals in the back, whether that be visually or the audio. However, once they've left the vehicle, they're no longer a passenger of Uber, so it'd be no different from a member of the public walking past now. If they're on the camera, that's fine, because it's a public space, so you're allowed to do that. It's like these cars who are coming and going now. If there's number plates or individuals, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just while they're classed as a passenger. So like I said, once they've left the vehicle, they're not a passenger anymore. So yeah, I'll be uploading that video, because I've checked with half a dozen people, and everyone has all said it's fine. I was just checking with Uber, so like I said, I've had to send them the link to say this is what I'm going to publish, and obviously it doesn't show any passengers as you claim, and I've copied in their terms and conditions, basically waiting for them to say yeah, that's fine, basically you're not breaking any rules or whatnot. So yeah, I'll upload that video when I get a chance, but obviously it's quite busy, to be honest. So yeah, I'm just going to take a bit of a break now. I'm going to go on charge, and then I will carry on with my shift. So I will yeah, I'm going to be offline now for an hour, maybe. I've been waffling that long now. It's coming up to 9:30. So yeah, I'll be on charge and having a break probably till about 10:30. So then the next update will be, you know, 11:30 or so, once I've been working for about another hour or so. So yeah, I'll so it's just turned 1 AM. I finished my break and charging at 11 o'clock. So in the past 2 hours I done a little £3.75 for 2.2 miles. then on to a 567 for 0.8 of a mile. I then had a surge job, which doesn't look like a surge job. It was £7.21 for 5.8 miles. Don't know how that's a surge. Then I had an XL, £7.92 for 2.3 miles. 377 for 2.7 miles. A 477 for 3.5 miles. I got a £3.75 cancellation fee because he didn't want to come out the house. Where he booked me to, I'd gone to the pin, so I sat there, and then there was like 30 seconds left before I could cancel and take the money. And then during the way they send you them snotty messages where it says like, I'm at such and such, and that's it. So, you know, not like, oh hi, or oh sorry, I've dropped the pin in the wrong place, do you mind driving around the corner, or anything like that. It's just, I'm at such and such a place. And I'm like, so I sat there for the other 10 seconds, cancelled the job and took the money. Now, if you would have messaged and said, sorry, I've put the pin in the wrong place, do you mind driving 5 or 10 seconds round the corner, because that's all it was, then I would have done it. But I'm not going to sit there for 5 minutes to receive a snotty message, and then they want me to then start trying to find them because they don't know how to use an app. I then had a 545 for 3.6 miles. I then had a surge, which I had to check twice before I accepted it, because I thought, you know, why was the price so good? So I had to run about a mile for it, and it was 2.6 miles, and it was £13.59 for 3.5 miles. So I'd class that as a surge job, not the one before. And then I've just done a little £3.74 for 2.6 miles. My throat's killing me. This cracking job come up before. It was an XL. They wanted me to drive 12 miles from Southport all the way to Crosby to do a 2-mile job to Waterloo, so 14 miles, and they wanted to pay me £14.75. And that was an XL. So again, that's another example of these type of stupid XL jobs that you get offered, which is just ridiculous. They're absolutely miles away. So I'm currently on £151, done 6 hours, so I'm on about £25 an hour. So not too bad, but I've started to receive really stupid jobs, which are just miles away, and the amount of jobs that have been sent through to me and I've just ignored because they're so silly is unreal, to be honest. So yeah, normally when you start getting them kind of jobs, that's like a good indication to start heading home, because it's just silly, really. Like I said before, when I got that last decent surge job, like the whole of Southport came up on the map saying it was surging. That's when I got offered that job all the way down to Crosby. That was actually a surge job. So after I ignored that, I then had that other surge job, which only took me a couple of minutes to do, and then the whole surge bubble over the whole of Southport disappeared. I don't know how I can go from surging that much to completely dead. So that's about it. I think I'll head home, maybe through Ormskirk. That tends to finish at about 1:30, 2 o'clock, something like that. So it's 1:15 now, so I might catch a few little jobs around there. But yeah, Southport's just gone really quiet now, and these, as I've just read out then, a lot of them jobs are just all £3-4. Now I know it's not too bad, because you know it has been working out at like £25 an hour, and I've been doing like next to no miles. But yeah, it's just gone dead quiet. Like I said, I've just come offline for a second just to give you a little bit of an update. I'm back online now. Nothing's coming through. So yeah, I will start heading home, but the scenic route, because it is still quite early for a Friday, really. You know, it's only 1:15. Yeah, I don't mind staying out until, you know, 3, 4, 5 o'clock, as long as the jobs are coming in. But then on top of that, I don't want to stay out too late, because I've got my first pickup for my private job tomorrow. I need to be there for 10 o'clock, so obviously I need to get home and have a bit of a sleep and have enough time to get up in the morning, have a clean down of the van, and obviously get to the client. So I'll give you an update in about an hour. I'll either be busy around Ormskirk or I will be at home, so I'll catch you then. So final update, I had a little drive through Ormskirk. 1 or 2 little jobs come up, really rubbish jobs, pretty much same to what I was being offered in Southport, so we just headed home. So yeah, all the figures are the same as what I gave in the last update, but yeah, I was basically heading home anyway, but just thought I'd have a little drive through Ormskirk, but there was absolutely nothing. So yeah, bit of a bus really for a Friday night, considering it's freezing cold, 2 degrees. I thought more people would have been booking Ubers and whatnot, but I don't know, just less people are out for whatever reason. So that's about it. I'm just going to go in now, get my head down, and it's going to be a busy one tomorrow, so I will catch you on the next one.